It looks like we got our new update, or at least our patch notes reveal. And just as usual, I'm just going to be discussing it, but it's going to be set to come out June 14th, which is Monday. And it's E3 weekend. It's still going to be during E3 basically from the 12th to the 15th. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it runs, but I decided to discuss the patch notes, so we already got what it's going to contain for today. So I'm going to run through the patch notes, have it listed in the description, and you guys can discuss your thoughts about it. And I'm going to just read through them all in this video and then just share my thoughts. I already finished the game. For those who don't already know, I finished the game. I took my time. I was already jumping between many games. Even games that are in worse conditions, even without the save, outside of the save option, with crashing and stuff like that. A lot of people were crashing during this game on their PlayStation 5s, and their systems were even locking up. I never experienced anything like that. But I was playing games like Cyberpunk that are way buggier and in worse conditions, I can definitely say. But and with a mix of Resident Evil Village, all types of different games. But let's run through the patch notes, and I'm definitely going to share my thoughts about the games as well. And some good news for you guys as trophy hunters or just trying to get the platinum for this game. They did a lot of things for the trophies and stuff like that. So let's run through it. So here we go. Highlights for the platinum. Added support for replaying certain at 1 and at 2 trophies. Added support to retroactively award trophies which cannot be replayed. So that's good news for you guys for some of those having those long runs and having to redo everything and stuff like that. So now you guys will be able to get those trophies. Platinum added additional locations for scout logs 9, 34, 35, and 46 to reappear more often. So if you're missing those logs, you're going to have a better chance of finding them now. So you just have to keep on getting going over and over into many different cycles, hoping that you can get it to spawn. You guys won't have to worry about that when this patch comes out. Fixed the issue where one cipher was sometimes unobtainable for biome survey trophies. Fixed an issue where some activity cards display an incorrect count. So user interface. HUD labels for items are now hidden when Celine is firing a weapon. Another user interface change fixed an issue where two actions could be mapped to be a single button after switching controller presets. I said presets. Controller presets. Cinematics fixed the rare audio sync issue in the secret ending. See, I haven't gotten that because I haven't been on here ever since I finished the game, so I haven't tried going for the secret ending yet. Ever since I finished the game. Here's an audio issue. General mix improvements across the experience. Improved surround sound setup support across the experience. Added more DualSense haptics across cinematic moments for deeper immersion. Added DualSense haptics when using the Icarian grapnel. Improved the dynamic range recommendation system. Allow users to override the dynamic range recommendations. And then here's the last audio change or update. Allow users to change audio output from the game menu. So now we're going to talk about game balance, and then we're going to finish with miscellaneous bug fixes. So here's the game balance. The 3 game balances. Various bug fixes to certain artifacts, parasites, consumables, and when certain malfunctions can occur in earlier parts of the game. Players no longer receive parasites as rewards when players avenge their corpses. And then here's the last one. Enemies, weapons, and bosses. Difficulty adjustments in all biomes for a more balanced gameplay experience. So wait a minute. So are they going to make the game a little bit easier? I finished the game already. So I'm guessing they're going to probably be able to, you'll be able to change the difficulty of the bosses to make them slightly easier, so that way more people will have that chance to beat the game. I don't know what you guys' reactions for that. Difficulty changes or difficulty adjustments? But I think the beauty of this game was to make it a challenge, so that way you can level up, because you can't run, in this game you cannot run straight to a boss and just think that you have a fighting chance with any weapon. You have to explore the biome, level up that particular weapon that you want to use against the boss, stay alive, try to fight, and pick your strategy. You don't have to fight everything unless you're in a lockdown of a room that'll trap you in where you have to destroy everything and kill everything in sight for keys and whatnot. It's probably smarter to run, but some of these enemies will catch up to you and they will hit you with ranged attacks. Some of them can even teleport towards you. But that's crazy. Difficulty adjustments for enemies, weapons, and bosses. I think that's a huge one for me. But I'm curious to see how that'll play out. So I'll probably end up testing it out once it releases. And then let's wrap up with the miscellaneous bug fixes. Fix the issue with where Hyperion may drop the key out of reach. I've never seen that before. Fix the issue where Ophion may become invisible if the player uses a reconstructor during the fight. So the funny thing is, a quick story, is that I got lucky enough to find a reconstructor, but I ended up killing him my first try, so I never even had to use it at all. Because I didn't know what he was capable of. I didn't really have much of any items or anything like that. So I was just fortunate enough to take him down my first try. Fix weapons not being found in biomes after scanning but not collecting them. Fix the issue where Celine could jump impossibly long distance. I never seen that. I don't know if anyone else experienced that. Fix multiple issues where Celine may become trapped in a room. That's the whole door situation. I thought they fixed that last patch. Why is it coming up now? It came up again, so I guess they didn't fix it all the way. Fixed a rare freezing issue when teleporting in Crimson Ways. And then here's the last two to wrap up for the patch notes. Fix occasional frame rate drops when using the Electropylon driver. I've never really experienced something like that. And then here's the last one. Performance improvements, crash fixes, and multiple minor bug fixes. So that's our patch notes. But I gotta just go back. With Celine having no magically jumping ability with the impossibly long distances, see, it's not out yet. Well, I'm just discussing it today. But I never experienced any of those. And then I'll say this, I never crashed at all in this game, just to repeat. For just like I said in the last previous patch update, I never crashed at all. I haven't frozen. I haven't had any sort of issues like that. But the only issue from my experience was the audio bugs from just fighting and using like the hollow secret, for example. It was just like it's just so you got headphones on and your volume up and you just immersed into the game. It'll scare you. It'll scare the daylights out of you. And it'll make you want to turn your volume down. And when it came up, I'll just repeat it. I didn't have to go to my master volume. I had to turn down the sound effect. See how that's the only thing that was adjusted? The whole audio buzz, it had nothing to do with the master volume or anything like that. It was the sound effects. You had to turn this down to fix it. But thankfully, before finishing the game, in the last biome, I didn't have a single audio bug issue. So I got really lucky there. But it's crazy how they didn't even fix the door situation, because I thought they did. But I still haven't been able to I haven't been locked into a room forever, I'll say. I haven't been trapped or stuck, but that was the only main issue that I had, was playing through the game with audio bugs. That was the only issue. I hadn't experienced any of these crashes, data loss or anything like that. But so it might even occur to you guys, maybe for those who want the save option, I personally didn't really mind it because I was just play a boss and then close it out. And then try to continue and level up and try to find different weapons and experience them from there to see what works and which weapons that I prefer. But even without the save option, again, that's not going to be listed in this patch. Guess what? There's going to be a little bit of balance with the difficulty adjustments in all biomes for a more balanced gameplay experience, as they mentioned in the patch notes. The enemies and weapons and bosses. So you have that fighting chance. So I think that'll fix that whole save scenario, so you have a better chance. That'll increase the chances of you being able to complete that certain biome. And so people having trouble with, I'll just go ahead and say Nemesis. I'm not going to say which biome it is, but for those that are having trouble with Nemesis, maybe you guys will probably be able to take them out. But I don't know. I think the whole challenge, the whole beauty of this game was the challenge, and for you to learn the pattern of the bosses and be able to upgrade your weapons, and then keep your items, and then be able your consumables, be able to try to locate that reconstructor room just in case you make a mistake. So that way, as you continue to fight the boss more over and over and over, you'll tend to learn their pattern and just be ready to know what they're capable of during their 3 phases. But that's all I can really say for now. But I'm curious to see how it looks once it comes out on June 14th. But those are all my reactions, and that's just the whole discussion of the patch notes. But I'm gonna go out here and make sure everything runs right, correctly. And speaking of that, I don't even know what the update's gonna do, so that's why I'm gonna test it when it comes out to make sure it works. But um, just as always, just to wrap up, I'm just gonna already once I install the patch, I'm already gonna upload my save data to the PlayStation Cloud for PlayStation Plus, so that way I don't have to worry about losing my data. Because they notice how they stopped talking about that warning for keeping the automatic updates off on your PlayStation 5. Now it's just gonna close the game out if you have it turned on. So I guess I'm assuming that they fixed it, but I still don't trust it. So I'm just gonna keep it off because I don't want it to mess up my data when I get the time to, when I want to probably go back and try to get the secret ending. I'll just go from there. But it's a lot of fun. I just like the game. It's one of my favorite games of the year, for sure. I almost forgot how to play. I've been playing so many other games. But I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments. So I just wanted to get into a little bit of a fight. But the graphics, everything's good, but I think just again, that whole difficulty change or difficulty setting and difficulty adjustment is going to be the big thing